And one of my biggest takeaways from the Hot Water Forum is how many of the manufacturers are working so hard to bring technology to market, and listening to not only the policy advocates, but the engineers that need robust solutions, need support, and down to the contractors that are installing them. I think all the electrification goals that we have are really critical, and there's components every one of us plays to make that successful. And so, Brian, I want to thank your presentation here in both the educational component, but also the uplift of engineering and R&D and manufacturing to get those products to market. Um, One of my other biggest takeaways, I think, from the Hot Water Forum were some of the contractor feedbacks. Um, and I wanted to highlight one that I thought was really innovative, and it was around workforce education and uplift. And I think that's something I want to focus on in the next year or so, is definitely contractor engagement, getting more educational materials out to the contractors and helping them successfully install and operate and commission these systems. Um, One of the interesting things that came out of Oregon was a really unique licensing or certification requirement for just heat pump water installs on the residential scale. And it was an interesting battle with getting the plumbing contractors associations and electrical contractor associations on board to create a new license for just somebody working on heat pump water heater replacement projects. And it, as I learned, it did two things. It created a certification entry to the market, allowed people to do the straightforward installs for heat pump water heaters, and any work within, I think it was 3 feet of that water heater install, and streamlined the ability of who could do that. So it didn't really require a full plumbing license or a full electrical license, but allowed somebody to really concentrate on just that heat pump water install to make it more affordable and more people coming into the market. And what I heard was really interesting is that the plumbing contractors association saw that as an entry point for more people to get into the plumbing contractors association licenses. um, I'd love for that to replicate, and for us to all think of innovative ways like that to um, streamline the processes for electrification policies. Little things like that, and it was, I don't want to call it little because it took a lot of effort to make that successful, and a lot of time. I heard it took about 2 years, but that small change is one of those things that can make electrification more affordable, and the barriers to entry less for what we're all trying to achieve. So I wanted to highlight that one. And then Dove, I'll pass it over to you to give you your other feedback from the conference.
Real quick, hey Ted, I was lucky enough to help organize that session with the great Steve from Great Northwest, who's an installer. So I'm just putting a link to the slides in the chat for that one.
Thank you.
But
That's great. That's great. Yeah.
Hi Ted. Thanks for I joined late. But yeah, it's great to attend the meetings. And so for those, maybe I just give a brief introduction of myself. Dove Feng with TRC. My little contribution to the central heat pump water heater is my involvement with the Title 24, which is the California Energy Code's development on central heat pump water heater. Um, Worked on the 2022 and 2025. Yeah, so the Hot Water Forum is it's really great. Um, I think really the event is a great success in terms of just bringing people, all the people in the industry into the same room. Um, and Tab probably have talked about this. I joined late. I didn't hear all of your update there, so I'm probably repeating some of those stuff. But I think like Tab talked about all the critical pieces, like really from technology development, from on the technical side, design control and design tools and support to the design communities, and the market education and training and program incentives and policy regulation. All of those pieces are critical. They have to move together to make the change happen. So really, I think the really high level takeaway for me is I'm really excited to see this national level efforts to advance the understanding of the technology. See a lot of use case and installation and presentation on lessons learned and case studies, like some challenges people have in real projects, and cold climate implementation, and what are the issues and how people resolve those, and really a lot of the real lessons learned from contractors and designers. That's really great. I think another big part is seeing a lot of the industry association and consortium efforts, like the ASHRAE building decarbonization task force, organizing, developing the design and design and operation guide. I think that's what they're working on. I think that will really help advance knowledge as the for the industry, and a consortium of efficiency also, like they have some projects ensuring the consistency of performance for central heat pump water heater programs. I think those kind of efforts, I think really critical, and a lot of national labs on research on the R&D side, on load shifting, cost reduction, and collecting data from field to validate the performance. I think those are all the different pieces, and that's all kind of pulling things together and advance the knowledge as a as a whole for to push the industry moving forward. I think another highlight I really excited is seeing a lot of new products coming in developing, and new products offering from manufacturers and tankless heat pump water heaters, for example. I really appreciate many manufacturers attend the event, and I just feel like I personally learn a lot just talking to them, and that's really exciting and critical to move the market. Yeah, that's kind of my higher level takeaway from the Hot Water Forum. I do have a little thing I wanted to circle back on the Title 24 side updates. So can I talk about that now while I have the podium, or yeah. So okay, yeah. So I think talking to them about the manufacturer. So we're actively working on the Title 24 2025 cold cycle development for the central heat pump water heater. I presented to the group I think 2 meetings ago, and there are 2 measures we are working on right now. Central heat pump water heater requirement, and also another one is on the electric ready requirements for central DHW systems. So if you're not ready to install a heat pump water heater system, you have to meet certain electrical and all of those space requirements to make sure when at the time of retrofit the building will be electric ready. So the first topic on the central heat pump water heater that leveraged the NEA advanced water heating specification. So we really encourage manufacturers to get their product listed, and there are so we will be holding another stakeholder meeting on May 1st. I'll send a link to the chat, but I really encourage people to participate and engage while we're actively making the changes. I appreciate, I already got a lot of comments from people, from I think folks in this forum here. It's really great to get your feedback, and that can help us change, decide the code requirements. Really appreciate that engagement and feedback from all the stakeholders here. Thank you. That's all from me.
Great. Thanks so much, Dove and Ted. I Kashmir, I would open up the floor to see if anyone else had any hot water forum takeaways. That sounds good to you.
Yeah, I welcome that. And I also want to thank Dove and Ted for sharing. We're so lucky to have such a talented group of people kind of join together on this call.
Second.
Anyone else have highlights?
Yeah, I can mention something that just having been attending since like 2008. What was really exciting this year is we had that hot air component, and just having a day where hot air and hot water came together with a lot of combi systems conversation, which is really exciting. You know, that's definitely where things are going, and it's just great to really have a day dedicated to seeing the different research that's happening in the laboratory in the field with combi systems that could be a combination of space heating, space cooling, and water heating, or maybe 2 out of 3. So that was really exciting, and just nice to see the extra audience that came out on the hot air side and mix the two together, and you know, just expanding from 2 days to 3. So
Thanks, Amin. Others?
I see Abby Dakin's got her hand up.
Abby Dakin from APA. The thing that was really noticeable to me was that I haven't been going as long as Amin, but for many years. And what was really striking to me was how fast the product availability is changing for commercial heat pump water heaters now. There were a number of great presentations about projects in the field and how they went. And what was striking is the ones that didn't work, those products weren't even on the market anymore. That's how fast it was moving. Like by 2 or 3 years later, when you get the conference session together, the product's already gone and been improved, and now it's a different product.
That's what we like. Awesome. Others?
I think I saw Ziming's hand up, but then he may have lowered it.
Yes, actually, I have one question. You know, obviously that heat pump water heater is a very interesting efficiency, but bother me is, you know, for example, in the winter time, that obviously heat pump water heater will bring some negative impact on that room, that space heating. And you know, obviously this is a very big challenge. And, you know, sometimes I think, you know, whether this community or OEM already have some new strategy how to handle those kind of challenges. It could cause that the negative on that space heating in the residential, special residential build homes.
Yeah, we have discussed that before, and actually, coincidentally, NIA put out today, I saw in an announcement, a report that they did called The Amazing Shrinking Room, and it talks about that type of, if I'm understanding you correctly, impacts to space from the heat pump water heater. So does anyone else want to add to that? I'll try to find the link in
great
the
flag.
chat.
Yeah, great flag on that report. Yeah, it's a good one. But yeah, in the residential market, that's the technologies are evolving to deal with that. Commercial market, you know, a lot of those elements are already split, and the environmental impacts are on the roof or in the garage. So concern on this commercial work.
Awesome.
You know, because, you know, long time ago, you know, I working with those kind of water heater, heat pump water heater project, and we working with TVA, and we tasting some unit at these people's garage, and obviously, you know, one season pass, the customer, you know, they feel not comfortable, especially for winter time. You know, it is in that the garage is so cold, and And I thought, I think that the heat pump water heater, the big challenge is how to solve those kind of winter season, especially avoid those kind of negative impact. That should be OEM or research organization should be, looking for those kind of, technology maybe can, minimize those kind of negative impact. This I just, have some suggestion. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.